How's everybody doing? It's your boy Big J with Bearded King,
What's
and we
up?
got Mr. Recall in the building. How we doing?
Doing good, doing good. How are you, Big J?
Oh man, just doing it up, man. Trying to live the life, trying to live the lifestyle.
Oh,
Um,
that lifestyle can be tricky sometimes, Big J.
oh, most definitely, man. So a little about myself, just in case people don't know, I'm Big J. I've been streaming for 3 years, altogether, 2 on Mixer and 1 on Twitch, and a little bit about the community. Too Lit. Um, we're a bunch of gamers. We see each other as family, and we support each other, and we just try to keep it going. We try to support more and more people and get more people involved in the community, and we just grow as a whole. Bearded, give him a good introduction.
My name is Bearded King. I've been streaming for a little over a year or so, just on Twitch. I did a couple small ones on Mixer, never really got too much into it, but I created the Bearded Kingdom shortly after I started streaming, and about a little under a year later is when I joined Too Lit, and we've become, like you said, a big family. Nothing but love for each other and for gaming. So, and then Big J comes to me with ideas, and we go over it and we make it happen like we are right now.
Right on, right on. So we got a couple of guests. We got Recall in the building. Um, we got 2 other major guests in the back. We got Dark Reese and man, I'm just really excited about this. We got Peaches as well. Peaches and Dark Reese got some really good stories for y'all, and let's bring them out.
Let's do it.
What's up, Miss Peaches?
Hey, how y'all doing?
All right, how are you?
Doing good.
I'm doing good.
All right.
All right. Are you trying to hear my story?
Uh, I mean,
Oh,
we
you
can.
just want me to?
You
Hey,
can.
I'm Peaches. I'm Peaches, 18 2000. How y'all doing? Variety streamer and mother of 6. How y'all doing today?
Doing lovely, doing lovely. All right, can we get Dark Reese in the building too?
Bring him on.
She coming?
Oh, okay. All right. So
All right.
Peaches,
She
so
left?
she's reconnecting. So
Oh,
tell
okay,
tell us
okay.
a little bit about yourself and how long you've been streaming and
I've been a gamer since day one, since games came out, but I haven't been actually streaming except for the past year and a half, and I only became affiliated in the past 6 months. So I've just been trying to get used to streaming and being on camera because I'm kind of shy, but I'm working through it.
What kind of games is it that you play, Peaches?
Mainly MMO, adventure, RPG, and sometimes first person shoot 'em if I have people to play with.
Okay. Are you controller or mouse and keyboard?
I'm a controller and I do mouse and keyboard for MMOs.
I can't do mouse and keyboard. I got sausages. They don't react right on mouse and
Well,
keyboard.
first person shoot 'em, I use controller,
Yeah,
but when it comes to like MMOs, I like playing with a mouse and keyboard.
gotcha. You like playing Warzone?
Most of the Call of Duties I've played. My favorite though right now is Vanguard. I like Modern Warfare. It's okay.
Yeah, Warzone. Do you see what they're getting a add on May 11th?
No, I haven't been paying attention. I've been busy playing Mass Effect and Conan Exile.
Okay, got you. They're supposed to be bringing in Godzilla versus Kong on Call of Duty Warzone.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm kind of pumped about that one.
most definitely. Recall, would you like to give a little intro, being part of the family?
Yeah, Recall. Would you like to do this?
Oh, jeez. I don't even know where to start. Okay. As I recall, well, I guess TTV, if you want to add that in there, but I I've been pretty much playing video games my whole life. I started streaming probably like 2015, and
You got to
then,
do it early.
then I stopped for a while due to work and other issues. Then recently, probably about almost a year ago, I started actually like heavily streaming again. Just a variety streamer. Just I stream whatever I feel like playing. That's about it.
Welcome, Darth Reese.
All right.
Sorry,
Darth,
guys.
would you like to
Having
give us a
some
little
difficulty.
introduction about you? Let the world know who you are.
Okay. So my name's Reese, and I usually play first-person shooter, or I've actually been getting into more of like the indie games lately. Really big horror fan and Star Wars fan and anime fan. That's pretty much it.
Nice. And what kind of shooters? I asked Peaches this. What kind of shooters do you get into?
So I'm really into COD. Not so much as I used to be, but I like COD, and I'll play Fortnite. I'm thinking about trying out some more. I've never played Rainbow Six, so I'm going to try that. I know that sounds crazy, but never tried it. So that's the next one.
Is that a good one?
I haven't played that one either. I need to get into it.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Cool. Have y'all played Rogue Company or Apex?
When it first came out, I played Rogue Company a lot.
Okay.
Apex, I've tried, and I stuck so bad I gave it up the first game.
Mm-hmm.
It was embarrassing. I almost sold everything I owned and moved to Guam just to because it was that bad.
Yeah. Felt that.
All right. So let's get into this scary talk.
Let's do it.
All right. So tonight's episode, which is episode 4, we're talking about nightmares and just scary dreams. Like scary events that's going on. So who want to take the floor? Who wants to start their story off first?
I guess I could start mine off.
All right, let's go.
All right, my story is about my family. True stories actually, and it's about my family house that was built on a plantation.
Oh.
And my mother still lives there. So a little backstory. All right, as most of you know, slavery ended officially in 1865. But sharecropping in Louisiana, where my family grew up, didn't stop until the sharecropping didn't stop till the 1960s. And basically, my family was told if they continued to work the land without being paid, they would get paid in property. They would get paid in acres of land to live on.
Okay.
So all of my uncles, all of my aunts, they got a piece of land and they worked it and they farmed it for the original plantation owners, which was the Carter family. This is around the Amite River area. This isn't in New Orleans. This is actually in Greensboro area, Greensboro, Louisiana. So the family built their first house because they started getting acres of land in the 1920s. So from the 1920s up until the 1980s, the family continued building on acres of land that was given to them. What they did not know was the only reason the slave owners gave them the land is because it was unusable. Because it was originally during the slave days, years and years earlier, used as a cemetery for the slaves and a place where they hung the slaves.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's some.
So they had the reason that no one knew it is because they planted pecan trees around it. So what we didn't know was that they used to hang the slaves from those pecan trees. And so they went all along the Amite River from, let's say, I don't know if y'all know much about Louisiana, but pretty much from the Greenwell Springs Road up until Highway 10, you could find that on the map, was the slave quarters. And also along the rivers where they killed the slaves. that misbehaved. So in 1980s, when I was just born, my parents decided to start building a house, and my grandmother was building her house right next door. But they had to dig down to get to the well water, and so they had to run water lines. Well, they start finding bones on top of bones on top of bones. So they called in the authorities, and they did a survey of the land and found out that a long time ago there was a church on that land and there was a grave site. So we couldn't dig down. They had to just build on top of, because they had no other land to use.
Right.
So I was essentially brought up in a house that was built on top of a active grave site.
A burial site. That's creepy within itself, right there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The worst part is that my family, for years, the children would have night terrors. I guess what you call sleep paralysis. We would see things, and there was a history of sleepwalking with all the children, including me. I don't remember much about it as far as the sleepwalking, but a lot of times I know my little sister, I remember, because there's a 5 years age gap. She used to set fires in the fireplace and almost killed us one time, and she doesn't remember ever doing it. She said that she didn't do it. She doesn't know how she got there. So we started putting cameras once cameras became available in the house, the old school cameras. And so my parents were able to notice when we sleepwalk or when we go outside. So it was kind of like, once I was old enough to understand and remember things, there were spirits in the house. Like, I used to tell my mom about my great grandfather who I'd never met, and she would say, "Oh, stop talking about that, baby. It's just a dream." But it's like, no, I was in the hallway and I saw this man in this suit, and he had gray hair and he had blue eyes. And come to find out, I found pictures years later. That was my great grandfather. He was a Creole. He was a Creole man, and he actually died on the property. So it was kind of sad that my mom kind of hid all this from us. But my aunt, she's a practicing voodoo priestess in New Orleans. She was the one I had to talk to about it. She's the only one who discusses it. And it is the reason she said she joined that faith, was because she wanted to understand the spirits more. Now, most of the family has actually moved away from the land now that we know, including me. But my mother doesn't want to leave because she was told by a soothsayer that as long as someone's on the land, the family would be prosperous and be safe because of the spirits that protect the house. And that's a short summary. If you have any questions, I could tell you more, but
Like, okay,
it was scary.
Your grandpa, is that the only thing that y'all have seen, or was there anything else?
Oh no. My sister talked to spirits all the time. She called them her friends.
Really?
I saw the only one I remember for sure is my grandfather. But from what I was told, I had a lot of imaginary friends as well that I play in the yard with. Now, my brother had it bad. He still has PTSD from it and anxiety because they would torture him. And we didn't understand. He'd always end up hurt with scratches and being like bad situations, doing bad stuff, getting hurt. One day he didn't know how to swim. He went down to the pond. He said him and his friend were playing at the pond and his friend pushed him in. There was nobody with him when he left the house. So we came to realize that not all of the spirits were good spirits.
Right.
And in later years now, my mom has, what they're saying is early onset dementia. But I actually think she's seeing the spirits now and they're kind of influencing her. Because I lived with her when the pandemic first started for about 6 months. And whenever she'd leave one room and go into another, she'd lock the doors. And she would go in the kitchen and she'd be talking to someone, but no one would be there.
Wow.
So it's gotten scarier over the years. My kids don't even want to go in the house. Like my 4-year-old, she was there for a while, and I even saw her talking to someone in the closet one day. But when I went there, I didn't see anything. And as far as shadow figures, they're everywhere.
Really?
So
Wow.
we don't go outside the house at night or early morning at all because there's always something going wrong. So when I'm in that house, I lock myself in my room and I don't come out till morning. That's pretty much what we've learned to do, and we barely visit now. My mom has to come visit me
Right.
because they started to affect my children, and I couldn't have it. It was scary.
Yeah. And see, like you said, you was afraid to go outside. That is understandable because it's hard telling, how far actually, bodies was buried out that way. And, not only do you have to worry about them in the house, you got them outside too. So.
Oh, no. Underneath the foundation of the house is nothing but bodies. The entire area is a graveyard.
Yeah. That's like I said, not only do you have to worry about them inside, you'd have them outside too. Just
Exactly.
restless spirits.
And we didn't know how bad it was until my brother almost drowned.
Yeah,
and that's when we realized, okay, something's not right here because that's not his normal state. And I don't think he ever got over it.
Like, did you ever get any like vibes of like pure evil or any kind of comfortable vibes around certain spirits, or what kind of feelings did you get around them?
I never really had a good feeling.
So,
from the age of seeing my grandfather up until I was 16, when I stayed in the house with my parents, I had to sleep in my mom's room. I literally had a day bed in my mom's room. Every night I'd have to sleep in her room. I couldn't sleep in my room. It would get so bad I would have sleep paralysis, where I guess that's what they call it, where you can't move. You see something there.
Yeah.
And that's when I first started having asthma attacks, because I guess they were more like panic attacks, because I couldn't move, I couldn't get up, and it felt like I couldn't catch my breath. And my sister, she eventually had to go stay with my grandmother, my other grandmother. And she just couldn't stay in the house. She was so terrified. And to this day, she won't go back in the house, because what I didn't realize, once I moved out of the room, whatever it was started attaching itself to her.
Ooh. And you did bring up, physical contact, scratches, pushing, and it's not very often that, spirits and stuff like that get actually physical. They do more of the haunting or taunting from a distance, trying to scare you, I guess. But for them to get physical, that's pretty serious. And personally, I would love to go to this place and investigate it for a night, lock myself in completely.
You don't want to do that?
Oh, I'd love to.
No.
I'd love to.
Any of my friends who go to that house just to visit my mom, they don't want to come back. That's this feeling of unwelcomeness there. Like this feeling of uneasiness. So they don't stay in the house more than 20 minutes and then they're out the door. And they don't tell me why, but I know why, because I have that same feeling. So yeah, it's kind of tough. But this is my first time discussing it, because it's kind of like this little secret that my family's been keeping for years. And a lot of them, they only live there because they feel they're going to have bad luck if they leave, or they just can't afford to leave the area.
My dog just scared the crap out of me, y'all. I'm sorry. After talking about all that, he jumped real quick. I was like, "Jeez, what is it?" Sorry about that.
I got a train going by. I was unmuted.
But yeah, it was tough though. I mean, it was a tough thing, and it's sad that my mom refuses to leave, but we can't really stop her right now from staying there.
I got you.
But I know it's affecting her now, and I don't think she has dementia at all. I think she's actually now open to the spirits.
So
because nobody else is there for them to bother.
Right. Does she actually, can you tell if she fears him or not? Is she scared of him, or has she just gotten so used to him that
she thinks they're people?
Really?
She thinks that she's all right. She's about to be 82 in August. So she will literally sit there and tell me stories about the kids around the house. And she now just recently got foster kids, which I told the social worker not to let them stay there, but she thought I was crazy. But it was just one of those things that I just had to warn her. And she's like, oh, that's so cute. Okay, you scared of ghosts. And she blew me off. But now that she has some foster kids there, they tell me stories about what goes on there and how my mom walks the halls and screams at them for doing stuff they didn't do, like dishes being broken or the fridge being left open. And it's not them. It's actually something else, because the same thing I used to get fussed about when I was younger. So it hasn't stopped, and I really don't think it's gonna stop. But no, I don't think when strangers come to the house, they don't stay long. My cousin from California stayed for about a week. She was supposed to stay for about a week. She only stayed 2 days, and she had to leave because she kept feeling like she couldn't breathe at night. So I didn't tell her what it was, but I knew what it was. She said she thought it might have been allergies. It might be some asthma symptoms or allergic reaction, but I knew exactly what it was. It's just that claustrophobic feeling you get when night falls and you're alone in that room, because she was sleeping in my room.
You know, skeptics will never understand, like you're talking about the social worker, like they never understand. Because being a person that has a sense of like feeling when it comes to spirits and stuff like that, and like knowing that they are there and they are real, skeptics are just like you said, she's like, oh, that's cute, you're scared of ghosts. It's like, no, you really don't get it. It's like you don't understand what you're about to get yourself into.
I mean, I'm 40 years old. I've lived in this house for years. I know what I'm talking about, but
right,
you know,
right.
That's why I usually don't say nothing, because no one believes me. So I usually just let it go.
Right. I feel you on that one 100%.
Have y'all ever watched Zach Bagans' The Demon House?
I don't watch that kind of stuff.
Oh, well,
I believe in them, so I don't mess with them.
The Demon House is actually that was in Indiana, actually just a couple hours from me, that he bought and tore down because they believed it was an actual portal to hell. And the whole social worker thing that you was talking about, you know, they came to take the kids because of all the bruises and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And in the interview, the social worker said that they watched the youngest boy put his back up against the wall and put his feet and walk backwards up the wall. And they witnessed it themselves. And they literally, like I said, Zach Bagans bought the house and tore it down and stored it in a container because it was so evil. He said it was a direct portal to hell.
Sheesh.
Yeah. So if y'all like scary stuff, definitely check out The Demon House. If y'all watch Ghost Adventures.
No, you're good. No.
But
I'll definitely check it out.
Oh yeah.
But I actually had 2 ministers come into the house and try to bless the house. That didn't go too well the next night.
Ooh.
I just pissed him off. It just made him mad. That's all it is.
Pretty much. Yeah. It didn't go
man.
So yeah, I gave up on it. It's just one of those things that till this day I have anxiety over, because it traumatized me in such a way. And my dad's theory was, if you understand the nature of the thing, then you won't be afraid of it. So he had me do a lot of research on these things, and it's like it helped a little.
Yeah.
But still I try to avoid it as much as possible. Because I think not only along with those dead slaves, I think a lot of restless spirits are there, like the people who actually did harm. And also we have no idea what happened during like the Civil War, what was in those plantation homes, what happened there. Right. So I think there's also some evil spirit in the house. And I think it kind of attaches itself to usually the youngest of the kids, usually a boy, because my brother was always the one getting hurt and getting scratches and falling off stuff. And like, he doesn't know how it happened. So I think it kind of gravitates more towards boys than it does girls, whatever it is.
Yeah. See, that right there could actually, where boys try not, they don't show as much fear, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but they don't show as much fear as a little girl would if she's seen something like that. They'd be more intrigued by it and more easily manipulated by whatever was.
I was about to say, yeah, that was the perfect choice of words.
But back to what you're saying, you had nightmares and you had bad dreams and terrors and stuff like that. Like, if you can remember or know of anybody else in the house, what kind of dreams did they have? Like, was they vicious? Do you know much?
My sister had a lot of bad dreams. She would feel like she was being held down and attacked. My other sister, she couldn't stay there much at all. My half sister, she came into the house and I actually got blamed for an actual scratch on her face that happened during the night. Because they said, okay, well, you don't like your sister because she's your half sister. And it's like, I never even touched the girl. They've had these very painful, horrible experiences. And I think the only reason I didn't have as many is because I stayed in the room with my parents a lot of the time. But it was always early morning, late night. And it was just horrible. You'd hear like creaks that shouldn't have been there. It wasn't an old house. It was thumping up in the attic. Nobody went up there, and playing out in the yard. Like I said, it was not even an option past sundown. So it was very difficult. And when you go outside, even during the day, you feel like you're being watched all the time. There's this feeling of uneasiness, like you don't want to be there. You don't want to be alone. So I grew up with this feeling of anxiety and stuff because I used to have horrible dreams about people choking me, people burning me, all of these things. And when I talked to my aunt about it, she said that's because they were showing you their past memories. They were trying to talk to you and tell you what had happened to them. And I said, well, I don't want to know that. And she actually gave me this. I actually keep it with me all the time. And I got one for each of my kids when we stayed in the house with my mom for that short time. And it actually helped. My oldest boy, I didn't know when he was 4. He stayed with my mom a whole summer. And it affected him to this very day. Jeez. So after 3 months with her, he basically didn't talk as much. He never told me what had happened, but he'd always say, no one loves me. Everybody hates me. I want to die. No 4 and 5-year-old should be saying this stuff.
No, not at all.
But I think whatever was in that house was manipulating him and whispering in his ear, telling him all these things. Until this day, he suffers from depression. But anytime I try to ask him to go visit his grandmother, take her food, the first thing he says is, not me. I'm not going. But he never tells me what exactly happened. And I can tell from my experiences as a teenager how depression set in. And I was always feeling anxious and afraid. It's the house.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to him, I know what happened to me. And till this very day, I have to actually force myself to sleep. I have really bad anxiety. So when it's at nighttime, I cannot sleep by myself. It's very difficult. Like in my room, all my babies sleep in the room with me. Like my 4-year-old, my 2-year-old, my 1-year-old, they all stay in the room with me because I want to protect them because I don't want what happened to me and my siblings to happen to them.
Yeah, and that's very understandable. Growing up, growing up like that, having to deal with that would definitely leave scars, for life. So I can definitely understand that. But I don't know what it is, but something's got me so intrigued by that I would love to go there. I'd like to take Big J with me.
You trying to go to the house?
We got jokes.
When I say I go in there, I would straight call it out. I would taunt it. I would try my best to make it mad just to see what it would do to me. But I would definitely do this when nobody was living there because I don't want anybody that would be living there after I'm gone to deal with the repercussions of what I would do to make it mad. So, but that's what I would do. But Big J, he wants to go. I could see it in his face. He's like, man, I want to go right now. Let's load up.
If only you knew. My people that know me, like, this guy is definitely know what he's talking about. I would not set foot on none of that ground.
No, me neither. I'm good. I'm good on that.
I'm good. You tell me that place?
The worst part about it is on that whole strip of land, there was multiple houses that were once family homes. The sad part, my family was so tight-lipped about it. They actually sold the houses to unsuspecting people.
Really?
So it's not just my mom's house. It's my grandmother's house, who now has another family with a child staying in it. They've been having issues. And then there's a couple of houses down, a couple of families have been having issues with their children. Whatever it is on that strip of land. It's like a street. Yeah. And it's affecting all of the children first.
Yeah. So like I said, children are the easier manipulated. And like I said, to be honest, you know, yeah, I'm sure you've gotten records on, you know, roughly the area of what happened there. But it's hard telling what's happened even beyond that little piece of property or that whole street. It could go on for miles and there's just no record of it. So I mean, it's hard telling where it would stop in that area. The land is tainted, it sounds like.
And that's pretty much why I moved away. I was like, it's not the small town atmosphere, it was the land. That whole area, that whole street I call it a cursed street.
Yeah.
You know, because we don't know what all happened. And from what we could research and find out, there's been a lot of children that have died over the years, a lot of crazy things that have happened. So I'm not raising my kids there.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
I don't blame you at all.
Mm-hmm.
Big J, you got any questions for Peaches on her story? Man. That's chilling. That's freaky stuff, man.
That's definitely something I would not want to investigate.
That's like right up there Amityville horror, level.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
I mean, honestly, I would not set nowhere near that road, that street, that block. You couldn't pay me enough to go in that area.
Come on, Big J, let's go.
Hey, you know what? I love you, but you won't catch me going there, man. I'll be like, hey, man, I won't even be in the car right there.
So you're getting dropped off at the end of the street. Right.
I wouldn't even be at the end of the street. I'm gonna stay in Texas. I'm with you spiritually.
You gonna let me go alone, Big J? You can't let your boy go alone.
Oh man, hey, that's what recall's for. Look, he's right there.
Hey, the only piece of equipment he would need is a roll of toilet paper, because he sees something like that, it's just free flowing from there on.
Well, they do have houses no one live in there that my family owns. They may let you do something in one of those houses that's further down the street. Yeah.
Big J.
My cousin Lawrence has 2 houses that nobody wants to live in.
Big J. How you gonna pass that up?
Oh my goodness! Don't
do it.
You know what?
Don't do it.
You the real MVP. See, you know what it is.
I'm not going there. I can tell y'all the information. I'm not going.
Would you go?
Lord have mercy.
There's a reason no one wants to live in those houses.
Let me say it like this. I feel like the spirits are very angry, so therefore. And since it was, and I'm just going to say this, I'm just going to be straight up. It was on a plantation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like either if myself or Bearded went, it would be bad either way. Because it was on a plantation. That's all I got to say. I don't want to go into detail, but y'all know what I mean. So doesn't matter.
Right.
Just
you know what I mean?
Is just enough to make it creepy within itself. So.
Yeah, I'm good. Anywhere else, maybe a haunted hotel, I'm down. But yeah, no, there's a lot of anger there. It's a lot of anger and a lot of righteous anger at that. So, but still, a lot of anger.
You need to check out Waverly Hills up here, about an hour from my house.
I'm down for it.
It's one of the 8 most haunted places in America.
Okay.
They had like so many deaths from tuberculosis there back in the day.
Jesus.
Like there was so many that they built a chute at I can't remember the angle, just to let bodies just roll down on tracks because they was pushing bodies down so much. But
Good God.
yeah, my wife actually got to go explore that with a couple members of Ghost Hunters, Josh Gates from Expedition Unknown, John Zaffis.
Oh.
Yeah, she got to go, investigate with a bunch of celebrities. But okay, Reese, you want to get into your story? See what you got cooking?
Yeah.
So mine aren't as extravagant, not gonna lie. I have a few, but they're very short and sweet. And that one tops it, so I don't even know if I should share. So let me think. One of them, I'll start from like age 19 and then I'll come to the most recent, which is only like 2 or 3. First one is I was 19 and I used to hang out with my buddy Michael all the time, and his family was actually built on his family built a home on an Indian burial ground. And I live like 40 minutes south of Atlanta, so most of everything in this area is on an Indian burial ground. But his actually was owned by his family since like colonists came in. It's crazy how old like that land is and how long his family has owned it. So there, I used to go stay the night all the time, and we'd all hang out. It was a whole bunch of us, and some nights we would go outside at like midnight, right? And I remember one night we went out there, we were hanging out, we were swimming, and we came back in, and all of a sudden I felt something like touch me, and I was like, nobody was around me, nobody was near me. And I look around and I'm like, okay, nobody's inside, I'm in here by myself. So then I kept walking, went to go change, and I felt something grab the back of my neck and literally pull me back. And I was like, I stopped. I said, what is this? And I went outside and I said, okay, who's messing with me? Y'all aren't funny. And they're like, dude, we've been out here the whole time. So I was like, okay, whatever. I was angry, so I went to bed. And then that night I just had I had a dream that somebody was grabbing me and holding me underwater, and I literally couldn't breathe. And I woke up and I was like red and purple, and Michael had to wake me up and make me breathe because he's like, dude, are you okay? And I'm like, no, I can't breathe. Obviously I'm not okay. So later in the week, I didn't go back to his house for like a week after that because I was like, there's something weird going on there. Well, later in the week, I kept having the same dream over and over again where I was being drowned. It was like nonstop every night. And I'd always wake up in the middle of it, like catching my breath. And then come to find out that I told Michael about it finally, and come to find out there was someone before his grandfather had built the house that they lived in. On that land, there was another house that had been condemned, and that's what they bulldozed. And apparently, one of their children was drowned by their dad.
Jeez.
In that house. So I was like, okay, cool. And I asked Michael, I was like, do you know like how old the child was? And he's like, I think his child was like 18. And I had just freshly turned 19 at this time. So it was scary as hell. But yeah, that's the scariest one I have, honestly. But I don't know. I've always been able to kind of sense spirits, and I've always been able, not really, I wouldn't say sense spirits, I'd say sense something in the air.
Like an energy?
Yes, yeah, like crazy energy, like hair standing on end, chills down the back, and just feeling of like uneasiness and everything like that. And my husband is actually one of the biggest skeptics that I've ever met in my life. But we went to Savannah, and Savannah is South Georgia. I don't know if anybody's familiar with Savannah. It's one of the most haunted towns.
Down in Georgia somewhere.
Oh, really? Yeah. So Savannah is one of the most haunted towns in the United States. Because that's where a lot of colonists came in, and they were killed, and they were actually buried underneath the roads. So when you're walking down the street, you just feel crazy walking down the street. You feel the energy. Well, my husband's one of the biggest skeptics I've ever met. He does not believe in ghosts. He does not believe in spirits. He doesn't believe in energy, nothing like that. So we went to Savannah for my birthday, and we did one of the ghost tours, which are just, copyright type ghost stories. They give you a bunch of BS stories. And we walked by this medical building, and it was an older medical building, I guess, from the school back in like 100 years ago. And they just didn't want to tear it down because it was a historical monument. Well, my husband walks by, and all of a sudden he just turns white and he's like, I'll be right back. Walks across the street away from the building and like starts vomiting. We hadn't, I was like, are you sick? Like, we had eaten dinner probably like a couple hours before. And I was like, are you sick from the food? And he was like, I don't think so. I'm not vomiting food. He's like, I'm vomiting just like mucus. And I'm like, okay. Like, maybe you're stuffy. Cool. So we keep walking, and we're standing next to the medical building. They're telling us a scary story. And he has to keep walking over there and just vomiting multiple times. So finally I said, stay over there for a minute. Because I was like, I want to see something. I said, stay over there for a minute. And he was fine. And I was like, okay, do you feel better? He's like, yeah. So I was like, okay, come back over here. He got nauseated again. I was like, okay, you need to stay on the left side of the trail. Then you need to stay on that side until we pass this building. He's like, why? I'm like, just listen to me. Like, trust me on this. Because I could feel it, and I could feel the terrible energy coming from it, but he didn't understand what was going on. He was just like, oh, I just feel sick. It's no big deal. Then when we got past the medical building, he was perfectly fine. The rest of the trail, every once in a while, he'd get like a chill up his spine, or like his hair would stand on end. But otherwise, I was like, have you felt anything this whole time? And he's like, yeah, I've gotten chills here and there. And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, okay, so do you still not believe that this is a possibility? And he's like, I mean, yeah, I kind of do. I'm like, you realize how you got sick? That's because the energy that was rushing around you and into you, it was too much for you to handle. That's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And
he never wants to go back to Savannah now. So because that freaked him out.
I kind of don't blame him. That's creepy.
Did you ever consider that was trying to attach yourself to him?
That was one of my fears, and that's why I finally made the decision. I was like, you need to stay over there. You know what I'm saying? Because the first couple times I was like, okay, maybe it's just too much for him to handle. But when he kept just having to walk away and, vomit and having feeling so terrible, I was like, okay, you need to stay away because there's something weird going on. That was one of my biggest fears. And that's why I made him I was even away from him, kind of trying to, I don't know if that makes sense. I was kind of trying to stay in the way of the two. So I stayed with the group and made him walk on far on the left of me, and he felt fine. So I guess it was just in a certain vicinity of the building that it was actually able to get to him, if that makes sense.
Radiating outside the building.
Right.
That's freaky. I want to.
Yeah, it was really. Now. Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, I love it there, but I know how to handle all of it. Yeah. Him, he doesn't even understand at all what's going on. But I think he's starting to realize that it's not everything's black and white, and there's definitely a large gray area.
Right. Yeah. Back to your first story. Whenever you said that you was having trouble breathing and stuff, did you feel like a pressure on your chest or on your throat? Like maybe something was putting this pressure there, or was it just?
Yeah. So when I woke up, my throat really hurt. So I'll just say that my throat was painful. And Michael looked and he's like, why is your neck red pretty much? And I'm like, I don't know. And I went and looked in the mirror, and it almost looked like somebody had literally been holding me here. So I couldn't see a handprint. I'm not going to say that, but it literally looked like somebody was putting applied pressure on it. It was creepy. It was the creepiest thing I've ever been through.
Was that where you are now?
So I don't live far from it, but I think I live probably 10 minutes from that home because I still live in the area. But yeah, I haven't had, ever since I quit going to Michael's house, which was probably when I was about 22. Because I was really close with his family, but I finally I kept having weird feelings, and I finally just never went back, if that makes sense. We're still friends and everything, but I just was like, I'm good on that. I'm not doing that anymore. So
that's creepy.
Yeah.
Big J, you want to check that house out?
No.
You're gonna make me do all this by myself, Big J.
How you go to New Orleans and not deal with the ghosts?
Man, that's why I want
to.
to go to New Orleans. What do you mean?
It depends where you want to go. Be
Ooh,
drunk when
Man.
you go.
jeez.
Yeah. No, I'll get your insight first because that's one of the main places I want to visit.
Mm.
Well,
Big J,
amazingly, one of the most haunted places, other than the graveyards, is the French Quarter. But
Mhm.
because a lot of people did die there. But the
Mhm.
thing is, you don't know if the person that you see in the French Quarter talking to themselves or some entity is actually talking to an entity, or they just wasted, drunk, and crazy. So
Mm.
Right.
you don't know. But I would say if you do go there, don't go alone
Oh no,
because
my husband will be with me.
they no they do have spirits that materialize around the French Quarter, and they lead
Oh,
tourists to their deaths. There's a lot of stuff like that happens
jeez.
that the news doesn't tell because we continue to want tourists to come because that's our main income.
Mhm.
So they kind of downplay the horrific stories of things that happen on these
Mhm.
tours and things that happen to tourists when they come down for like Mardi Gras or when we have like the different conventions. But I would say
Mhm.
if you do come with at least one or two other people and always be with them. Don't be alone
Mhm.
and drinking because you can't be led by a phantom off into a
Right.
dangerous situation.
Yeah, I don't think French Quarter and drinking is a good idea for me anyway. So, ooh, no,
Oh no, it's not just
I'll
the
get
French
too brave.
Quarter. There's the Garden District. No, I'm just saying. There's a especially after Katrina. It's been
Mhm.
I've noticed a lot more negative energy after Katrina because you have to realize a lot of people died during that time, and a lot of them
Mhm.
can't rest in peace because their bodies were never found. So
Mhm.
you have to put that in perspective. And a lot of the graves, even though the neighborhood has cleaned it up, a lot of the bodies were never actually found from a
Mhm.
lot of the tombs and stuff. So they're just empty because everything washed away or was put in the wrong area. So right now, I would say, as far as spirits and the supernatural, is that is height right now.
Yeah.
With everything that's gone. So I would say most hotels around the French Quarter are haunted, especially the
Mhm.
Napoleon. If you actually want to do something like I don't do seances and stuff, but the Napoleon Suite at the hotel is
Mhm.
one of the most haunted in New Orleans.
Mhm.
They have different hotels. Don't get a hotel in the French Quarter. They are the most expensive and they're the most places that tourists go to stay. But I would tell anybody get a hotel next to the casino that's linked that's newer because the
Mhm.
ones in the French Quarter have been there. They were homes before they were hotels, and most of
Mhm.
them are very haunted, and they don't tell the tourists. So a
Right.
lot of you might like wake up and a room will be freezing cold, and you don't know why, and you complain to maintenance, and they're used to it, so they'll say, "Okay, someone will be up," but no one comes up. They just say,
Yeah.
"Okay, we'll change you to another room," because they already know what's going on. So just
Right.
Mm.
be very careful because we don't tell the tourists. I'm
Yeah.
telling you stuff that they don't want to know, but it's actually quite dangerous.
Yeah.
Jeez,
Mhm.
that's creepy. Big J, what you got to say about all
I don't ever go anywhere I'm not welcome.
I told you try to get one of the newer hotels, like some of them further away from the French Quarter as possible, like the ones linked to like the different casinos. Those are more they're newer and they're not as haunted as the ones that have been there for like the past 100 years.
I like how she said that. Not as haunted.
Yeah.
Not as haunted.
So it's still haunted, but just not as haunted.
Still
Well,
haunted, just not as bad.
you can't change the land. You can't change the
Yeah.
land, but it is a newer building, and hopefully it'll be a whole lot safer.
that? Right.
Yeah.
All right, here's my question for both of you. This is kind of I mean, it could relate to what y'all was just talking about, but on the topic of dreams, nightmares, night terrors, deja vu, that kind of thing, have y'all ever had a dream that was so scary but seemed so real that even after you're awake, like all day long, it affects you all day long?
All the time.
Most definitely. Yeah, most definitely.
All the time.
Like it's I don't know how to explain it. Like I've had one specifically that I can remember. My dad had already passed away at this point, and I can't remember the dream all like every bit of it, but I think my wife actually heard me screaming in my sleep because my dad was there in my house, but his eyes were lit up green and he was like killing everybody around him. And in my dream, I knew it was a demon. And I started screaming at the top of my lungs. And my wife said I was actually doing that in my sleep. I actually woke her up. But after I woke up, she told me what I was doing. I remembered my dream, and it just kind of sat with me all day. Kind of brought me down and like kind of depressed me and just kind of made me really nervous and scared all day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that I'm just not a big fan of that feeling at all.
No, yeah, me neither.
I have deja vu all the time. I'm used to it now.
Mm-hmm.
I have the craziest dreams, and then I'll think back a week later, and then the actual events start taking place, and I'm like, wait a minute, I had this dream, and it starts freaking me out. So then I try to change the dream. You never had that deja vu where you had a dream, and your sequence of events in your daily life are going down that path, and then you freak out. You're like, okay, I got to change this from being like in the dream.
Yeah,
I do that all the time. That's why I can't stay alone. I still have episodes where I feel like I can't breathe and I wake up and I can't move. Like I want to scream and I think I'm screaming, but I'm actually not screaming. Like you're screaming in your head, but you're not. That's why I be up on Twitch all night.
Yeah.
I try to sleep more during the day, except now I can't because I have to work during the day. But before, I would be up all night and sleep during the day because I feel safer for some reason during the day. So sometimes, and I realize it happens more when I go visit my mom and I come back. I think something kind of creeps in and follows me. But it does happen because I have to visit her at least once in 2 weeks to take supplies to her, whatever. And I can't. I still have those nightmares, and I've had dreams where something's hurt my kids, and I'll rush and wake up, and I have to go check to see if my older kids are okay, and one might be sick for some reason, and it's I don't know.
No, I totally feel that. I do. Sleep paralysis is scary, and it is so real. It really is. It freaks me out.
The scary thing is when you see something. It's not the paralysis,
and you can't move. Yeah.
Like you think you see something, but you don't know if it's a dream or if it's real. And then you close your eyes and go back to sleep, and then you wake up later and you're like, wait, was that real or was that a dream?
Yeah, because you're just confused. That you're just like, okay, wait a minute.
I find myself asking my kids that because one time I actually remember I woke up and I went to check on my kids. And then I came back and I went back to sleep. And then I woke up the next day and I asked my kids, y'all, did I come in the room and talk to y'all and go back to bed? They were like, yeah, mama, you did, but you wasn't talking like yourself. What's wrong? And I was like, oh, nothing. And I just played it off. And it's like, I was doing it while I was asleep, but I wasn't asleep.
Right.
That's the scariest part. That scares me more than anything.
No, when they
it's like you don't know. You don't know what you did or what you said. I'll ask this: has anyone ever experienced? Because I have. Has anyone ever experienced astral projection, or like, if you're not familiar with it,
like where you can't leave your body?
Yes, where you pretty much you'll like one. I'll say it like this. One time I was sleeping, obviously, and my eyes opened, but I was looking down at myself in that moment.
In high school. when I was doing they call it meditation. I was trying to learn meditation, but it didn't go well at all because the book said you're supposed to imagine this protective bubble. Like the book was like it's gonna be so peaceful, and you have this protective bubble around you, and you're gonna be in sync with nature and the world and the universe. And I did the count backwards. I don't know if you know about the meditation, the count from 10, the count from 20, and you focus. And I did all that stuff because I was with a whole bunch of kids and we were trying to be all hippie-ish and stuff. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this. I can do this. And I kept feeling like something was trying to pull me away from my body.
That's what it feels like.
It feels like something's just grabbing at you and it wouldn't let me go back to my body. You know, it was the scariest thing. And one of my friends finally I guess they shook me and I was back in my body. It was the most horrifying experience. And they were like, they tried to wake me up for like 10 minutes and I wouldn't wake up.
Right.
But it only
Go ahead.
felt like it was a minute or, 30 seconds. But they said it was over 10 minutes that they were trying to wake me up.
Jeez.
Right. Well, I'll tell you when. Yeah, no. I'll tell you when it happened to me. I was looking down and I could see everything in my room. I could see everything in my room. I could see my alarm clock. I could see where my phone was. Everything. And I'm like, this is just a dream. Obviously, like it's crazy. But I looked at the clock and it said, I want to say it said like 2:45, and then in the morning, and then all of a sudden I was like, it was almost like an immediate pull, and I woke up and I looked over at the clock. My phone was in the same place that I saw in the projection, and all my, everything was as it was when I went to sleep. And then I look at the clock and it said like 5 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, was I actually in that for that long, or was it immediate and I just slept afterwards? You never know. You don't know like what the time frame is when that happens, and it's probably one of the scariest things that that's ever happened to me. Because I'm like, am I dead? Am I dying, or is my soul leaving my body, or what? So it's awful.
Yeah, like I've never personally experienced that, but that does cover the subject of one of my favorite horror movies, which is Insidious.
Oh no!
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
No.
Have you ever watched that, Big J?
I saw that. No, I couldn't.
That freaks me out. I'll tell you, that is the one movie I can watch any horror movie. Honestly, that is one movie that when I watch it, I literally have nightmares. I guess because I have astral projected in the past, and it's just scary because it's very accurate. If that makes sense. Yeah, I got you. I can't say that it's accurate in a sense of going into like a demon realm, kind of like they portray it, but it's very accurate. Yeah, but it's very accurate in the sense of how you feel and kind of like what you do. It freaked me out to a point of no return. I was like, I don't know if I can watch this very often. Maybe once every 2 years I'll watch it.
I can't watch it. I saw the first one. And I said, never again. I'm not watching any other. I think I was telling Big J about that. I cannot watch it. Because the
second one was my favorite.
It just gives me nightmares. It makes me just paranoid. And the worst part is the child wasn't trying to meditate or do anything. He would just go to sleep, and he would just have an out of body experience while sleeping. So.
And I think that's why it freaked me out so bad. Because like in my situation, I was just asleep. It wasn't intentional. There was no leading up to it. It was just I went to bed, and it's only happened to me I think twice in my entire life, but it was always in a moment when I know it was when I lived with my parents, and their house is definitely haunted. But it was also when I was at Michael's house one time, so that kind of like put 2 and 2 together, and I'm like, okay, there's something that has unrest in my soul or in my in my energy that's causing me to do those things.
Did you ever consider that something might be attached to you? And in certain instances or in certain homes where there's a more powerful presence, that's when it actually affects you?
So I went into research on that because I was really worried about it. And actually, my friend Kay is a practicing Wiccan.
Mhm.
And so I spoke with her about it actually a couple years ago because I haven't had an event in a while, except for when I went to Savannah, obviously. And it was around the time I got back from that trip. And it was just, she was, she did her thing. I honestly, I sound so idiotic trying to explain it. I have no idea. I don't practice. So she did her thing, and she told me, she said, you have that energy, but it's nothing that isn't of you, if that makes sense. Like, it's something that has to do with your past and your traumas and things that you've been through, not necessarily something that doesn't go cohesively with your energy, if that makes sense.
So did she say like your aura attracts these energies?
She didn't say anything about that, to be honest. I don't know if she didn't say anything if it did or didn't. She kind of gave me that vague answer, and I didn't really have any response.
My aunt explained to me that some people that may have a hidden gift, like the gift of sight, the gift of I guess premonition, there are different kinds.
Yeah.
Basically, spirits, whether they be good or bad, can sense your aura. And they'll gravitate towards you, especially when you're young and you're impressionable. And as you get older, that connection is weakened, but it's still there. So if you're in an environment where there's a lot of energy, there's a lot of, whether it be negative or positive energy, those spirits have a higher chance of attaching to you and even possessing you. So you have to be very careful. You have to be more grounded, and stuff like that. So did you look
Most
into
definitely.
like crystal charms, things like that to ground you?
Yes. I have some that I keep in my room. I could not tell you what they are. I just know that, like I said, my friend Kay, she got them for me. She charged them, and she actually came to my house and set them in place. So I don't touch them. I don't move them. And she pretty much said in the next year, I needed to recharge them. So I was like, okay, you do you. I was like, I don't want anything to do with it. You can come get them, do what you got to do, because I don't want to mess anything up. So they are randomly placed in my house. Don't know where. And also, I sage my house on a regular basis.
No, my aunt, she gave all of us crystal necklaces. This is one of my smaller ones, but all of my kids have them from the day they're born. She said because in our family, they have magic in our blood, whatever that means. So our auras attract spirits, whether they be good or bad, and that's why all of these things happen, especially when we were raised around that environment. So it became a part of us, and other spirits are attracted to that. And so you really have to be careful with that, because the dreams can actually be warnings. And especially since I've also had those dreams where you wake up and you can't breathe and you feel like something's just stopping you from breathing, just sitting on your chest and holding you down. I've had those so many times that when it comes down to it, I honestly think there's something that wants to attach itself to me, but because I have the charms that my aunt gave me and the kids, is angry about it. It's angry because it can't do what it wants to do. Because back when I was a teenager and I did that meditation with the group, it didn't feel like it was just some presence. It felt like it had an intent, to get me. So I really do believe that there's something to it, especially to certain auras, like your aura, my aura, like certain people. We're more open to the spiritual realm, and they talk to us through dreams. They talk to us and try to connect with us through dreams, and the bad ones try to actually harm us through our dreams.
They try to weasel in and take hold of us, and that's why I'm very careful now, more so than I used to be. Because when I was younger, I used to mess with all that stuff. I used to do seances. Me and my friends would get together and try to talk spirits. And now I'm like, no, you're good. I'm good. Keep that over there.
No.
I used to be crazy. I used to not care. I used to go sleep in graveyards, guys. Like, I was so bad.
Jeez.
And as I've gotten older, I'm like, you know what? That's probably not a good idea because I am so sensitive to it. And I'm like, and I know what it is. And especially as I got older, I was like, okay, I can sense all this going on. I'm like, yeah, no, we're not doing this no more.
No, I had a
Granted,
roommate.
this was 10 years ago.
No, I had a roommate back in college that was a Wiccan. She called herself a white witch. I guess a white witch. But yeah, and she always would say, when I told her the story about the meditation, she said I wasn't prepared. I didn't ground myself first. And she would try to explain I need to try again. I said, no, I can't do that. I'm too scared of it. But she actually wasn't afraid. Like she welcomed these paralysis things, and she thought they were trying to speak to her. And to this day, it still terrifies me because I remember some nights I wake up and she was over there, eyes wide open and not moving and not talking, and I'll be like, okay, do I wake her up? Do I check on her? You know, so she was only in my room for like a year, then I asked for her to be moved. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, you're like, I gotta go. I gotta get out of here.
It scared me too much, but during that year, I realized it's not always something to be afraid of. But for me personally, I didn't have asthma till all this stuff started happening to me.
Right, exactly.
So that's my fear, that it will cause me bodily harm. You know,
right.
So yeah, I sleep, but I try not to sleep as much as possible.
Yeah, I felt that.
That would be rough for me, try not to sleep. Big J,
what's up?
Have you had any like severe nightmares or dreams or anything that that you've experienced?
Not spiritually, but something more different, like nothing demonic or nothing in that nature. But I've always had reoccurring dreams of like the world coming to an end.
Oh my god, me too, dude. Not even gonna lie.
Is that like a fear of like the end of the world? That you think the fear is what's causing you to have that reoccurring dream? Because back when everybody was saying, I was young at the time, when everybody was saying, hey, 2012's coming, the world's going to end, I wouldn't watch the movie. I was freaking terrified, okay?
Me neither. I still haven't watched it.
I was wanting to build a bunker and everything. And, after 2012 passed, like, okay, we're good. I'm going to watch a movie now. And then I watched it. It was actually pretty good. But, like, those reoccurring dreams, man. Has anybody ever had a dream or even watched a horror movie so bad that was so scary that you either woke up from the dream or you finished the movie that you had to watch a cartoon or something afterwards?
Yes.
Just to escape reality for a minute?
Yeah.
Only one movie. And like I said, my only fear that ever scared me was Candyman. I literally tried to go and sleep with my parents. They were like, nope, you ain't sleeping in here. I begged and cried for my sister to let me sleep in there with her, and she let me. So,
gotcha.
The only movie that I had that issue with was Darkness Falls.
Oh my god, I was literally about to say that movie. That is so crazy. Not lying.
Theory or something? Yeah. See, I never watched that.
Yes.
I've never watched it.
That movie is wild. Wild. It used to give me nightmares.
We have to do a watch party.
What was there something to do with the lighthouse on that movie or something?
Yes. Okay. That's like the ending scene.
Yeah, then I have seen it. Yes. Okay.
Dude, that movie used to freak me out.
The movie that got me, that I had to like literally watch, like I started watching Hey Arnold after it went off, was Annabelle, the first Annabelle, that demon.
That's a good one.
Demon. That freaked me out so bad. Like I said, I had to fall asleep either watching Hey Arnold or Doug. Okay,
Doug.
I'm a grown man.
I don't know if this. Yeah, I don't know if it classifies as a scary movie, but okay. There's two. So Midsummer freaks me out. I classify it as a horror movie. Okay, I don't care what anybody says. That movie was awful. Midsummer. So it's I don't know how to explain it. It's pretty much where this group of friends go to Sweden, and they get caught up in this Swedish cult, and there's just a lot of stuff that I can't even explain everything that happens, but pretty much they wind up getting possessed. Everyone dies except for one person, and she winds up being possessed and being like the new leader of the cult. It's crazy, but it's like based off of demons, Swedish demons and stuff, and Swedish heritage, and it's all based on true events from back in the day. So that freaked me out. It's wild, but it's all during the daytime. Nothing happens at night. It's not like a typical horror movie. That's the crazy part about it. Wow. And then Hereditary actually freaked me out really bad too. Hereditary was one of those I had to watch something afterwards.
Oh, the Blood Curse. The Blood Curse movie.
Is that the one where they get their head knocked off going down the road?
The stop sign.
I won't ever watch that movie again, ever.
Dude, it was bad.
Have you seen Hereditary? Bro, it's, oh my god. That movie will give you nightmares. I'm not even
joking. It will. It's freaky.
That movie,
yeah.
You know,
because it's so realistic.
I gotta say,
that's what freaks me out.
I mean, it's been out for a while. I mean, let's be honest. The part where like you kind of see, you know, crawling at the top is just like, I'm done.
Yeah.
That's
creepy. Okay, we've been talking about horror movies and dreams and nightmares, and how has nobody brought up the one movie that covers both?
Talking about Nightmare?
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh my goodness.
So I used to be so infatuated with Freddy when I was younger that I can't be scared of it anymore. Like I was just so infatuated as a child. Because my brother, who is 6 years older than me, would always make me watch these movies all the time. So it's never been a fear for me. I've always loved him so much. Like I even dressed up as him probably like 3 years in a row as a child because I loved him so much.
It was an actual glove, but I don't know what happened to it.
You know,
I'm
Freddy
sorry.
Krueger.
That's my
Is that an offer?
That's my kryptonite. Oh no.
What?
Dream movies and stuff.
That's my kryptonite.
Well, and usually, yes, they would be.
Huh?
Freddy Krueger's your kryptonite? Is that good or bad?
Yeah.
That's bad. You know that's bad.
Jeez.
Oh.
Like, what would you all do in a say that situation?
I'm dead. I'm dead.
She gone. She gone. It's a wrap for Peaches.
Oh man,
there's nothing I can do.
But you know, there was rumors that Robert Englund said that he had one more of those movies left in him to do, and I'm really pumped.
He can keep it.
I'm down for it. I'm down for all of it. I'm down for all of it.
Y'all enjoy it for me. I'm good.
Will do. I promise.
Peaches, come on. You know you can watch one for the one time.
Yeah, let's watch it in the watch party.
Yeah, let's do a watch party.
No.
We'll stay up with you. We'll stay up with you.
I'm good.
We'll leave.
Yeah, you're not gonna stay up with me every night.
Oh, come on. It ain't gonna be like that.
Oh, has a make one. There was one that's actually autographed by Robert Englund.
I will ask. So, has anyone ever had premonitions? Me, I'm sure Peaches has. I mean, her and I pretty much. I feel like we're kind of on the same level with all that. You've had premonitions, I'm sure. Yeah. What about you guys?
I didn't know that's what they were.
Right. Same.
Yeah.
No, I've never really experienced a premonition. Like I've had deja vu and stuff, but it's like it only lasts for like a split second. Like I've seen this before, but I would never see what comes after.
Right.
So,
right.
As far as an actual premonition, no, I've never really experienced that.
I guess I've always called the premonition deja vu because it seems like, hey, did I do this before? And then you remember, oh, in a dream I did this. And so I guess it would be a premonition, but I always just called it deja vu.
Well, I'll say it like this. Like I know when I was like 7 years old, I had a dream that, and it's awful. So trigger warning, guys. It's not awful, but it's sad. So I had a dream. I used to live a little further south, and I had a dream that this little girl was hit by a car, essentially. and I saw every vivid memory, and it was on the road that I lived on. It was like her 5th birthday, and then she was running across the road to get to a balloon because her parents weren't paying attention. They were trying to take care of like the birthday party stuff. And before her birthday party, she was hit by a car and killed. Well, the next day, literally around the same time that it would take place, probably an hour after, it was on the news that a drunk driver had hit a little girl in a car. And that was like the weirdest feeling as a 7-year-old to be like, I knew that was going to happen. You know what I mean? That's something that stuck with me my entire life. And I can't, ever since that one though, I haven't had any more like that. I've only had deja vu moments, but that was, I mean, I just think, I don't know, it freaks me out a little bit because I'm scared I'm going to have another one. I haven't yet though.
Like
I dreamed.
Oh, go ahead, Peach. Sorry.
You go.
Oh, go ahead. Ladies first.
So, in 2000, I dreamed my father was going to pass away. And within a week of the dream, because I kept having whenever I have repeat dreams, I get worried. Whenever it repeats over and over and over. So I kept having a dream. And then finally, it was right before my birthday, the month before my birthday. My mom called and she says, we're having a party for your stepdad. So come over and we're going to all have fun. What I didn't realize was she was just trying to coax me out of my room so that she could tell me at the house what was happening. Well, when I get to my mom's house and everybody's so somber, and the first thing out of my mouth was, Daddy dead, huh? And everybody looked at me like I was crazy because they were like, yeah, how did you know that? I said, because I've been having the same dream for over a week. And it's happened. And it always seems to happen with me. Either it can be some good ones. I've had dreams that I get pregnant and then soon after I find out I'm pregnant. But I've also had some where it's like you have the dream of somebody passing away and then all of a sudden within a week or two they pass away. And that's happened multiple times with my grandmother and my aunt, one of my aunts, and my dad. So it's like whenever I start having those repeat dreams that someone's going to get sick or someone's going to die, I've learned from experience, that's when I need to spend more time around them. I don't tell them why, but that's when I kind of get concerned and spend more time around them just in case. And honestly, I hate when those dreams happen, but it's hard to stop them once they start. That's the sad thing about it. Like, and then the only thing is with my family, they think I'm weird. Other than my aunt, she understands I'm not weird. She just thinks I see things. But it's one of those things where I don't want to know. But when I see it ahead of time for so long, I'm prepared when it happens. So my reaction is not like everybody else's because it's kind of like I already knew it was coming. So I think in a way it can be a blessing that maybe I wouldn't be able to handle it otherwise.
Where you kind of prepare yourself.
Yeah. Because I had it, and it's been going on since I was about, I'm gonna say 12 or 13. Because I didn't really have those kind of dreams until then, and now it's just ever so often, out of the blue, I had the same thing for a whole week.
Yeah, I mean, I would classify that as a premonition for sure.
Now, see, like I said, I've never really had a premonition, but I do have this, I don't know exactly what you'd call it, this event that happens to me, and you can ask Queen about it, and it's freaked her out several times. Y'all know what a funeral home smells like, that specific smell of a funeral home.
Yeah.
I get that smell randomly, it just boom, hits me, and I'll smell a funeral home. I could be driving down the street, I could be getting a hop in the shower, and I'll smell the flowers, the embalming fluid, all that. I'll smell it. Every single time I do, somebody close to me dies. Every single time. And I'll tell my wife, I'm like, because I'll just get this look on my face. She'll know. She's like, you just smelt it, didn't you? I was like, yeah, I did. And the last time that I can really remember was I smelt it, and then my wife's aunt passed away, and there was 2 other deaths around that time as well. I just can't remember who they were. But, that's, I don't know, it's not really considered premonition, but I knew something was going to happen. I just didn't know who it was or what was going to happen,
It's still a sense of foresight, though. You know what I'm saying? You still have some kind of sense of foresight.
Yeah,
sure. The only thing I get is like when my sister passed. My sister passed in 2018, and I know I lived in the same house as her. So she was in one room, and she pretty much passed from cancer. So she was at a point in her life where she was like dwindling down, and we knew it was almost time. But the night that she passed, I literally woke up like the same exact time that she had passed, that the coroner said she had passed, because I just felt it. Like I could feel almost like her soul leaving her body, which was the weirdest thing I've ever felt ever.
Right.
I didn't know that she was going to that night necessarily. It wasn't like I planned it or expected it that night, but I just knew when it happened, like the exact moment.
Yeah.
So it's awful. It's the worst feeling ever.
It really is. Like my situation, not knowing what's going to happen to who, and there's no way I can control it. I just know it's coming. You ever had anything like that, Big J? No. It's a scary feeling.
I can only imagine. Like honestly, like I never really had anything besides, just that, reoccurring dream of, the world coming to an end. But I never really had any like nightmares. Like I usually, sleep pretty good. There was one point in time when I was younger, I had slept and like I tried to wake up and I couldn't open my eyes.
Wow.
Yeah, so like when I was finally able to open my eyes, I kind of cried because I didn't know what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
It's truly creepy. Once again, I wish Queen was here to tell her story about I don't know if you'd actually call it a nightmare, which Big J, you've heard this story. A lot of people have, but I was told even during church one time, a preacher stopped mid sermon, told me that he seen a demon that was was attached to my back, and so I've been told for a long time that I've had something following me. And my daughter has seen a black figure like leaning over me while I sleep, and she's come into the bedroom to talk to us, but we'd be asleep. She's seen it leaning over me. And one night, Queen was having a nightmare, and she was arguing with this thing. But she was kind of between. I'm assuming the way I understand it, she was in between the nightmare state and kind of getting awake state. She knew what she was doing, arguing with it. She can't really recall what it was trying to get her to do, but she was sitting up on the edge of the bed, and I was dead asleep. I didn't hear none of this, and she's sitting there having a full-on argument with this thing in her sleep or sleep state.
Yeah, probably like a weak sleep state.
Yeah, and like I said, it's kind of creepy, but I've dealt with it so long, I don't pay no attention to it. I don't give it that power. So whatever, whether it be spirit, demon, whatever, it can do whatever it wants to. It ain't getting no power from me.
Right, and it's good that you say that, because that's like the one thing you have to live by, being someone who is sensitive. I can't give anything power, because that's why the last 10 years of my life have been smooth sailing when it comes to all of that.
Yeah.
Because I finally had to realize, okay, I know that it's there. I can feel that it's there, but I'm not going to let it get to me. I'm not going to let it touch me. I'm not going to let it attach to me. So, because the moment that you say you get scared, to be honest, the moment that you fear it is the moment that it comes and attaches to you.
Yeah. It preys on that fear.
Mm-hmm. And that's why, like, the whole story with my husband, that's why I was just like, you just need to go over there. Just be calm. You're fine. Just go over there. And I had to, like, calm him down, because he was starting to get a little freaked out, or he didn't really believe it was a spirit, but he was just kind of like, why am I sick? And the fear started to set in, I could tell. And I was like, just stand over there. It makes you feel better. It's fine. And then at the end of it, I told him about it when we got back to the hotel, when we were far away from it. I was like, listen.
Yeah, it's that kind of stuff is no joke. It's no joke.
No.
Big J, you got anything you want to add?
You're quiet up there.
I'm just letting this all sink in, man. Like I like I was prepared, but I wasn't prepared. It was like, damn.
It's become more of a story time for Big J. He's just sitting there like listening to stories, like kids in
He's
school.
enjoying it.
It's almost like I'm watching myself watch you guys. Like it's like I'm like pretty much just sitting here, just watching you guys. I'm just here. But yeah, honestly, man, those are some really good stories. It's unfortunate of what has happened, but it's just, it's like, wow.
Hang on. Oh, now he gets with me. Okay, yeah, our other guest had an emergency, so.
Okay.
Oh no.
So this is a question I was wondering. So you go on the ghost hunts, right?
Yeah.
What can protect you from them? Now I know I've seen Supernatural and all this stuff, but
what
helps?
What Supernatural?
Yeah.
I do too. Yeah.
I had the biggest
I love
crush
Supernatural.
on Dean. And Castell's amazing.
Yes. Dean and Castiel, two favorites.
The
My
bad
two
boy
favorites.
the bad boy and the good guy.
Dean is so cute. Oh my god.
But I would be realistic with you. I was so Day Crowley. For some reason, that little demon.
What?
Crowley.
Yes.
Crowley and his mama's the ginger.
Yes. Oh my god. Now I know you're going. Pretty much the devil is who he is.
Well, I don't like the original. I like Crowley's version. Crowley was
exactly. Yeah, he's funny. He has a good, I love his personality in the show. It's just awesome. Such a smart ass.
I would so date the Crowley character. He'd be amazing.
Oh, what? Those are dope.
I like him.
He's awesome.
Who was y'all's favorite characters in the show? We're completely off topic right now. But
all right. My favorite 4 is Edwina. I think that's how she says her name. That's Crowley's mother. She's the ginger witch. Rowena, yeah. Rowena. Yeah. I say Adrena. Rowena. I like Crowley, of course. He makes me blush. He's so cute. It's spunky.
It's the accent, ain't it? It's the accent.
No, I just like him. He can have an English accent. I just like him.
With Crowley, you kind of hate him at the beginning, but then you grow to love Crowley.
Exactly.
This is the thing. He's like a mix between good and bad at the end because he doesn't want to hurt the Winchesters, but he still has to be a demon.
Right.
So you got he's kind of doing a balance in that. I like Castell because he's the sweet, innocent angel boy, and then I love Dean. He's the bad boy.
Yeah, everybody loves Dean.
Jensen Ackles is just fine. Sorry, I said it.
The Queen said the same thing. Same way with Sam.
He is just
I
fine.
don't like Sam. I like the original Sam. The original Sam without all the muscle. Then he went and got all muscle bound on me. I'm like, I wasn't banking on that. No.
I liked Sam only because I liked his dark side. Is that bad? I liked Sam when he went to the dark side.
I like the dark one too. I like the bad Sam.
Well, when he didn't have
exactly. Not the I'm Sam and I'm the good boy. No, I liked Demon Sam. Demon Sam.
The soulless Sam.
I like the one that was drinking the blood and he didn't have the soul and he didn't care and he was driving a Mustang.
Yeah, he was acting crazy.
We've got to do an entire episode of Scared Senseless dedicated to Supernatural.
Oh man, that would be
Big J, are you familiar with the show?
Okay, so what's your favorite episode?
My mom, it's my mom's favorite show, bro.
Okay, you need to go hang out with your mom, okay? You've got to get fully caught up. I cried. I bawled like a little baby on the last episode. I'm not gonna lie. It was so sad. I didn't want to see it in.
I never got to see the last episode. It's the only one I didn't get to see.
But back to the favorite characters real quick.
Wait. So they finished it because I know the thing started, and then they said they couldn't film the last episode.
Yeah, they finished it. It's filmed. It's
I'm gonna have to see it.
But Jensen and Jared have been getting together about a reboot.
Okay.
So I'm not sure. I haven't heard any much more about it. But the CW, I also did see.
Yes, he is, Queen. Yes, he is.
The network that produced that played Supernatural. They said they welcome back Supernatural. So something's going on behind the scenes that I don't really know about. But my favorite character, believe it or not, was not one of the main characters. He was a very short-term character, but he was my favorite, and that was Benny. Do y'all remember Benny? The vampire that Dean brought back from Purgatory.
Oh, yeah. The Creole boy.
Yeah. He's the one that Dean brought back.
I think I remember.
Yeah.
Yes.
He was like I don't know. He was like Creole. He spoke. He was from the swamp. He was that Cajun boy
from Louisiana.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
I'm trying to remember. I don't remember the guy's name, but the older guy that they when they went to the junkyard.
Bobby.
Yes, I loved him.
He was reminded
awesome.
me of my uncle.
Yes, he was awesome. He reminds me of my grandfather, and I was just like, man, I love this guy. I don't know why, but I just love this guy.
But Pyro said Benny. Now back on the subject of dreams and stuff, Robert Englund actually had a special appearance in Supernatural. Freddy Krueger did. He was a doctor that killed Dean so he could go into the spirit world and do what he needed to do.
Yes.
Or to communicate with death. I think the Reaper is what he was after on that episode.
I think
I need to
the
finish
Reaper
the
was
last
a cool
season.
character too. The Reaper was an actual cool character.
Mm-hmm.
I liked him.
Wait, which one? There was several. There was Tessa. There was Death.
No, the original, the old guy.
Death.
Yeah.
The Horseman. Yeah.
The horse, him. I liked him.
Yeah. So I've watched the entire series. I think right now I'm watching it again. I'm on my 18th or 19th time watching the entire series. I'm a super fan. Okay. Huge fan. I love Supernatural. But yeah, he still hasn't finished it either, and it's really upsetting.
I haven't either. I don't feel bad.
No, I
gotta finish it
except the finale. I didn't get to see the finale.
Ooh, I bawled like a little baby.
I was working doubles then. That was right before I had to quit working, so I ended up missing it.
I got you.
I was hoping they didn't finish it because last I knew they had stopped filming, but they must have finished it, and I didn't know.
They finished it. It was sad, but anyway,
I'll see it eventually.
Oh yeah. Big J, is there anything else you want to add, my dude?
We have our guests. So, I mean, we said last week that we were going to do a thing. So every time we have guests, we ask them who their favorite slasher is. So we'll go with you, Peaches. Who is your favorite slasher of all time?
From slasher movie. Oh, that's easy. That would be Jason.
We need a board to keep track, mark down.
And you know why, right? Because he doesn't hurt children.
Let's go.
He's my favorite.
Hey, that's a good reason. I like that though.
I've never heard anybody use that reason, but that is a very good reason.
That's a very good reason. I like that. Makes me think differently of Jason now.
Yeah.
All right. What about you, Dark Reese? Who's your favorite slasher?
Well, honestly, I would say Freddy, but Peaches just brought up the children part, so now I'm kind of second guessing that because he was fond of children and killing them. So my second toss-up would be Ghosty. Ghostface.
Ghost.
I'm
straight.
Yeah.
I think that's his favorite as well.
That's your favorite recall?
Yep. Ghostface all the way.
Ghostface.
I'm not a huge fan of the Scream movies. They're good. Don't get me wrong. They're just.
I would say Pyramid Head, but I don't think he's technically a slasher. So.
Silent Hill. That's more of a zombie.
Yeah, but that man, yeah, I love him so much. I've been obsessed with him since I was like 12.
Sort of, yeah.
Now, Silent Hill's actually based on an actual place. Have y'all seen that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that actually it stays smoky because of the fire underneath.
The coal mines are still burning.
Yeah.
So they had to evacuate the people. Yeah.
Yep.
Your butthole. But yeah, slashers. Big J, what was your who was your favorite?
Jason Voorhees.
Jason. Mine, I'm still gonna have to probably go with Chucky. I love the little dude. You know, any grown man that can possess a doll. I mean, yeah, he does hurt kids. You know, he tries to take over their bodies or whatever, but
Mhm.
he's still one of my favorites. I grew up on Chucky, huh?
That's my husband's favorite. No shame. He loves Chucky. I actually got him a cup made with Chucky imprinted on it because he's so obsessed.
I mean, I got Chucky sitting over here. I don't know if y'all can see him. See him back here in the corner?
Mm-hmm.
I can't see him.
He's waving at peaches.
He over there in the corner right there.
He's actually got the heart
Dang.
of
What's up, dog?
Dumbo. He's actually got. I actually bought it last Halloween. An actual metal necklace of the heart of Dumbala and put on him.
Oh yes. My husband will literally come up to me, and when I'm in a bad mood to ease the whatever, he will literally quote "De Duem da Bella" and like hit my forehead, and I'm like, I hate you so much. You're such a jerk.
2 Jason, 2 Ghostface, 1 Chucky.
Do y'all listen to any kind of heavy metal music?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Darth, are you familiar with Ice Nine Kills?
Yes.
So you've seen the Silver Stream collection?
No.
What?
Okay. They did. I think they're working on the Silver Stream 2 right now.
No, it's already out.
It's already out. Okay.
They're still gonna make videos for it.
Ice Nine Kills is a heavy metal group, which I never really got into them until this dude. They cover in their music videos and music all the slasher movies, any kind of horror movie you could possibly think of. Really, they've covered Carrie, Pet Cemetery, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, The Crow, Halloween, Resident Evil, It.
I'll have to look that up.
I gotta say, the Resident Evil, what is that? Rainy Day?
Yeah.
Is probably one of my favorites. Then, like I said, they just recently did Pet Cemetery, which is and they just covered My Bloody Valentine. Speaking of Jensen Ackles,
yeah,
you know that was one of his.
Yeah,
but it was a cartoon video. I wasn't a big fan of that. But if y'all get a chance,
I'm familiar with them, but I don't listen to them on a daily basis. But I'll definitely be looking that up for sure.
Oh yeah. But you got to watch them in order because it tells the story of Spencer Jarnis's. It's a whole other horror movie within itself, using existing slasher films to, I don't know, like put together their own little horror movie.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It's fun.
Yeah, I'll definitely look that up.
The videos are just amazing.
As far as videos, I gotta say, Hell in the Hallways was my favorite video, where they covered Carrie.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look all those up in order.
Yeah.
I'll just look up the order first, and then I'll just go watch them all.
The Exorcist.
Yeah, The Exorcist.
There's a lot of songs that don't have videos, but they're all horror related.
Yeah.
One that was completely just all about books.
Yeah.
That was everything in the book.
Yeah, definitely check those out. But Big J, I don't think I have anything else. I do want to thank Darth Reese and Peaches for being guests tonight and sharing their stories.
Most definitely. We appreciate you both being a guest, and we look forward to you to participate in more of these events.
Appreciate being here.
We got to get you all back in here on the Supernatural one, okay? We will definitely let y'all know that happen. Okay, I'm not even joking. I'm like super excited. I'm like a kid in the candy store right now about that episode.
All right, so
is the season finale on Netflix?
Yes.
I'll go watch it.
Yes.
I'm gonna go watch the Ice Nine Kills stuff in order when I get off here. So.
Oh yeah.
You can thank him later.
Recall said you could thank him later.
Right.
I like what Queen
Tell
of
him I'm glad I didn't wear my
Yeah, I see
Naruto shirt
that.
because I have the same exact
You
shirt.
see that?
I almost wore it too. We'd be
We-
matching.
At Queen of BK, my wife, she came on there. She said, "Recall's so quiet the entire time until Ice 9 Kills comes up."
I think he brought it up.
And this is the first time I've seen you not in an Ice 9 Kills shirt.
Yeah.
Like every single day that he was here last week, Ice 9 Kills, a different Ice 9 Kills shirt every day. He's like, okay, like I am with Supernatural. I think he is with Ink.
Yep. I mean, it's literally inked into my skin.
Yeah, he's got the tattoo and
Lord.
wait.
Pretty
Can you tattoo on stream?
I have.
Well, we might have to do a bearded getting a tattoo stream eventually. Yeah. Big J.
How about the lovely people that's in the chat?
You wanna
What are
move on
y'all
to Q&A?
favorite scary movies? Yeah.
Favorite scary movies.
Favorite scary movies, favorite slasher, you name it. Everybody, right there.
I'm gonna say Jason.
Yeah.
Probably be number one.
Which Friday the 13th?
Let's say my favorite overall is gonna be Freddy versus Jason. That was funny as hell. I love that.
That's one of the top ones for me, but
That was so funny. That's the one movie I could actually endure Freddy.
yeah.
That was a good one.
Now, as far as Friday the 13th, mine's actually the actual Friday the 13th older movies. Mine's a tie between number 7 and Jason Goes to Hell.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
That was a good one.
Hold up. So you really like Jason Goes to Hell? You like that one?
I love that one. I love Jason Goes to Hell. Kane Hodder is just a phenomenal Jason, and at that point he's all swelled up from all the damage he's taken, and all that, and then the fact that he's possessing other people, and
Yeah,
their bodies.
See, that was it, because he really wasn't on there as much, so it was like
He was, you knew it.
He was there, but he wasn't there.
But he was there.
You know what I mean?
Okay, do y'all remember what was his name? Duke, I think was his name in the movie Jason Goes to Hell, the bounty hunter.
Oh God, I don't remember.
He also played in Supernatural as Rufus.
Huh?
Just have to throw that out there. Just throwing it out there. But part 7, like I said, it's a tie. Part 7. Do you remember part 7, The New Blood? That was one of my favorites. That's the best looking Jason I think that they had. Half the mask missing, the spinal cord hanging out, ribs and all that. He was like the most psychotic looking Jason.
Hey, I don't know what it was, but I liked when Jason went to Manhattan. I don't know what it was about that, but it was.
That was a good one.
That was a good one.
I liked 2, and I liked 2 and 7. I like 7. 7 was pretty good. I think that's the one where he kills the guy in the sleeping bag. That was too funny. It's so predictable that it was hilarious.
I just got a really fun fact. Actually, I'm not even gonna say it. I'm gonna make him write himself out. Go ahead, tell him what you just told me. Go ahead, Recall. Tell him.
God damn it.
Tell him.
The only Jason movie I've ever seen was Freddy vs. Jason.
Oh no.
Okay, guys. I'm gonna wrap this up. It's been.
I've seen every other slasher movie, but not just
Fail.
any of the Friday the 13th.
Fail.
What?
Fail.
Come on. You keep aggravating me.
Dang.
My favorite would be, of course, Jason. It would be Chucky, and it would be Candyman, of course.
Candyman good, yeah.
Not the new one. Not that new one.
No, the older one. The original.
Original.
Tony Todd.
He didn't even know Candyman was a thing.
What?
Okay.
Yo.
Bye. Bye.
Him,
You can
send
go.
him back to where he was.
Go. Bye.
Tell me you've at least seen
Wait. So
He's
you're
never
gonna
heard of Puppet Masters
hold
either.
on.
Puppet Matt. Yo, I can't trust Recall no more.
I know, I'm gonna take myself off camera because I'm
Wow.
associated with him right now.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
I would say my number one is definitely Silent Hill, the first one. I like Silent Hill 2.
You don't think
but
2 or 3? 2 and 3 is my favorite.
I like them, but Silent Hill 1 just like, I feel like it manifests the story, and then 2 and 3 are just kind of adding on to it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You know, it ain't a top to me, but I thought it was pretty good. Dead Silence.
Dead Silence is the one that actually freaks me out because I am terrified of animatronic and puppets. So, like, there's a ride at Six Flags called Monsters Plantation or something, and it's all these animatronic monsters. It's for kids, and I'm like, yeah, no, I ain't doing it. Nothing. Animatronic things freak me out. So,
I don't mess
yeah.
with, I don't
I'm
mess
gonna
with
ask.
them old school
I'm gonna
dogs.
ask. Bearded King. Bearded King.
Yes,
you there?
yes.
Okay, so y'all want to investigate Louisiana hauntings, but he's never seen Candyman, which is based off a true story. It's a true spirit.
It's legit.
It is legit.
So is Chucky. You know, that's based off a real. It wasn't exactly how the movie went down, but it is based off Robert the Doll. Which, by the way, guys, he also just told me he's only seen Child's Play 1. He's never seen any other Chucky movie.
What is this guy? What is he?
Where are you from?
What are you?
Call me Patrick.
Call you Patrick. Okay, Patrick. Well, listen, Patrick, I need you to educate. Okay?
Oh my goodness. We need to do a freaking just a party watch.
Yeah, a watch party.
A watch party of just a whole bunch of different movies because damn.
You need to watch Puppet Master back to back right now.
Yeah,
Go get
Puppet
it.
Master,
Watch it back to back. You're gonna be laughing your butt off.
Oh man.
I will say the only one I haven't seen is I've never watched Leprechaun, the series of them, because I just thought they were stupid. Personally. She got a drink on that one. She had to get a drink of water on that one. Couple drinks.
Wait. You've
I'm about to yell that.
Y'all are upsetting me.
I saw the first one and I honestly hated it, so I've never watched the other ones.
All right.
Okay, so
Leprechaun is based off a real events, a real curse. You got
3 is good.
Chucky is based off of real events, and Candyman based off of real events, and Puppet Master is based off of things that really take place.
Yeah,
they call voodoo dolls. So y'all have never seen none of the real stuff based off of real spirits, real events.
That's the only one I haven't seen. I've seen Puppet.
You hear that?
And I've seen all the Child's Play, but just not Leprechaun. Which I feel ashamed now because my husband loves them, but I just don't watch them.
I always feel like somebody's.
What was that?
You about got dealt with. You about got dealt with right there. You cannot be playing that stuff on me.
Oh
My
man,
gosh.
she got him.
My butt
She
is
got
getting
him.
tight right now. My
Jeez.
wife's stuck outside my window, and she is
Oh
right here.
no!
She be creeping on me right now, girl. Go away.
Wow.
Okay, we need to tie him to a chair and make him watch the movies.
Yeah, I agree.
I think y'all should we should play one of the scariest movies, and Recall has to watch it. He has to have the camera on at all times so that we know he's watching it.
Scary movies don't bother me.
Live stream.
Yeah.
Like jump scares.
They can watch Midsummer. Please, y'all do me a favor. Take a moment and watch Midsummer, and you will understand what I'm talking about.
Do kids get hurt? That's all I need to know.
I don't think so. No.
Then I'll watch it then.
Yeah, it's pretty messed up. It will literally make you question your existence. It's really weird. It's awful.
Oh, the Matrix already did that, honey.
Oh no, it's Matrix on steroids for 10 years, for sure. It's crazy. It's really bad.
Especially the last one. Y'all saw the last Matrix? That was a movie inside a movie inside a game. I'm like, okay.
That's payback. I bet it is crazy.
Like she was waiting to say that.
Yeah, that was like I had chills from that one, man. That was.
Dang.
I give her credit. That freaked me out a little bit.
Hey, crazy.
Well, with everything we've been talking about tonight and all these spirits and stuff, you're probably like on edge already.
On edge, yeah.
Hey, crazy.
I'm
make sure you get that clip.
I gotta
crazy.
sleep at some point.
Oh, I'm sure she's got a clip. I'm
taking tomorrow off. I'm staying up all night.
Clip it and then edit it, crop us out and just have it to where you only see Bearded's reaction. We'll start doing live reactions of people getting shook.
All right. Well, I hate to be a party pooper, guys, but I do have to get off. I have to get up somewhat early in the morning. So it was nice to be here.
Well,
y'all have a wonderful night.
Appreciate you being here. But did anybody in chat have any questions before we wrap up? Peaches,
I have one question. Have you seen the original Carrie, my friend?
Oh yeah,
the original.
Yeah. Long time ago.
All right.
Yeah.
You're not too far gone.
Yeah.
Nah. There's just certain ones that I haven't seen.
Like you emotionally upset me, by the way.
Did you see all of the Nightmare on Elm Streets?
Yes.
Yeah, he's seen all those, all the Halloweens.
But not Friday the 13th.
Dude, we got them all.
Nothing that it never really interests me.
Pumpkinhead. Have you seen Pumpkinhead?
Pumpkinhead freaked me out as a child.
I want to see yes.
That and Children of the Corn.
I've seen those.
Yeah.
Oh man.
The scariest movie to me when I was a kid was the
Critters.
The Critter. That's a good one. Pet Cemetery. Because that woman that was all crippled up in the bed and stuff, and the way she's running towards the camera, she's like, "I'm gonna twist you up like me." And
have you ever seen The Village?
Yes.
That
movie really didn't. I'm not a big M. Night Shyamalan fan though.
That wasn't.
Yeah, I'm his movies are too hard for me to follow.
The one that actually scared me that I don't think was supposed to be scary was the one where they were at the beach. I think it's called Old Age.
I haven't seen that one.
Oh, I'm not gonna tell it to you then.
No,
that one was just
favorite horror.
That was tough. That was a tough one.
I mean, if y'all want to say one of the movies that just was different. But it was.
I had to stop. I'm happy I wasn't in the theater. I had to press pause a few times on that one with all the couples at the beach and the families at the beach and
franchise.
They had some scenes in there that kind of got to me.
Actually, paranormal.
It wasn't meant to be hard though.
Huh? What is your favorite non-slasher horror movie franchise?
Oh.
Non-slasher related.
Non-slasher related.
See, mine would have to probably be the Insidious or the Annabelles. James Wan.
Me and Big J talked about it. I was actually a bit to watch all three of the movies back to back. Paranormal Activity.
Yeah, those were good. I like those. Yes. To about 3 or 4. Okay, yeah. Queen said The Conjuring. Which the Conjuring and Annabelle and all that kind of feeds in together. The Nun and all that's all tied in.
They're linked. Yeah, they're linked.
I would consider those to be in the same franchise.
Yeah.
Conjuring.
Big J, if you had to choose your favorite non-slasher horror movie franchise. I'm on mute for a second. I got a train.
I haven't seen all the Conjuring, so I couldn't say that one because I've only seen one. I couldn't get past the first one.
Yeah, honestly, I think The Conjuring is a good one. I'm gonna have to agree with Queen on that one.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I can't sit through them. That's too close to home. I think I'll stay away from those. Paranormal Activity, I was forced to sit through with a bit, so that's why I said that one. I don't know. You said non-slasher. That's the key.
That and just like Exorcist, like those are crazy too.
I would say The Omen and The Exorcist would probably be mine. That are non-slasher, like where it's spirit based. I like The Exorcist and I like The Omen, the originals. I don't like the remakes and all the spinoffs. They're a little too close to home.
Damien.
Yeah, he just wanted to be loved.
Number 1, Conjuring. Number 2, Insidious. I seen both of those, and like the series. Like, man.
I haven't seen all the series of either one. I only got through the first movies, like the first ones that came out, and I couldn't see anymore.
Yeah, I mean,
too much.
You do consider them horror, I know one that's in the horror category. It's a little bit newer. It's not here recently, but it was a couple of years ago. It makes you think about things. It's like, damn, like that was wild. Like, I don't know if y'all seen it. I'm pretty sure y'all have. Get Out.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
That one was like, whoa.
Have you seen Mother?
Yeah, I have.
That one I have not seen.
With the guy.
You haven't seen Mother?
Not the one with the ghost spirit that protects the children or haunts the children.
Oh, not that one?
I saw that one. That made me cry at the end. But no, I'm talking about the other one. Where it has the guy from Supernatural. The dad from Supernatural is like the co-star, and he has a wife, and it's basically referencing. It was I can't. I just remember the scene I hate. In the scene, a baby gets killed. I didn't like it, but it was actually really. I didn't expect it to be horror, but it ended up surprising me. I thought it was supposed to be like a thriller.
What's that?
It's called Mother.
Oh yeah, Mother. I haven't watched that yet.
Yeah, with the guy from Supernatural.
Oh, okay.
And the other one, Mother. The other Mother is the one with the ghost that raises the children in the old house. There's 2 of them.
I think I've seen.
There was a movie. I can't remember the name of it about this girl that was. What was it? I don't remember the name of it.
There's one about a ghost that raises these 2 children, and the youngest. That's one of them, and the other one was based on a man and his wife who move into this house.
Yeah. And
all these cult members come and to the house, and crazy stuff happen.
They got the game coming out next month, and Recall hasn't seen the original or the remake, which I don't think we've ever discussed this remake, The Evil Dead. Have you seen the remake?
Talking about the series that they put on Netflix, or
the movie? They redid the original movie, and it was just called Evil Dead. Have you seen the remake? So, like they had the Evil Dead, and then there was like Evil Dead 2, and then I think there was Army of Darkness back in the day, and then they came out with a remake of just the Evil Dead.
I may or may not. I have to look at it, and then I would know.
Yeah, okay, Bruce Campbell's always been one of my favorite actors. The remake, I gotta say, they took it to a whole new level of Satanism or sadisticness, I guess you'd say. It is really dark. Like, it literally starts raining blood, and a demon comes up from the ground, and
Jeez.
I mean, it's super, super scary. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna have Recall watch Evil Dead, because that movie is it's beyond.
A movie that made me think, and it was weird how it made me think. It was, I think it's the Cabin in the Woods. Was that it?
I haven't
Yeah.
seen that one, believe it or not.
It made me think a little bit.
It was pretty weird, I would say. It was good, but it was pretty weird.
But
Yeah,
BigJ,
but
go
I
ahead.
kind of like it in basis of a movie that explains other movies, and it kind of puts a little spin on what we enjoy as movies and made it like they were based off of real events.
Yeah,
That's what freaked me out about it.
yeah. But Big J, we're pushing a 2-hour mark.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to ask or add to it?
No, I really think that this was a really good episode. Like I said, I appreciate everybody in on this one. This was definitely a great one. You know, as you see, we hit 2 hours. We don't have a timer on it, but yeah, 2 hours definitely one for the books. It was a good one.
Yeah.
And yeah, we loved everybody's stories, and we look forward to the next episode. We thank y'all for participating in this, and we look to see y'all next week.
Yep. Peaches, we really appreciate you coming on the show tonight, hanging out with us, giving us your stories, your input on stuff. I want to thank everybody in chat. Thank Recall, Darth Reese. I know she's bounced, but it was great. Big J, it's always a pleasure. I love doing this with you. It's a lot of fun. I'm excited for next week's episode, which I'm sure we'll be posting in Discord once we kind of discuss what we're going to go over next week and give everybody a insight on it. But once again, Peaches, appreciate you coming in. It was a lot of fun.
Y'all have a good night.
Yeah,
You
as
too.
well, Peaches. That was, I don't know. It's addicting doing these episodes.